Grand Raw Rising, kings and queens. Grab your coffee or your tea and enjoy some sacred healing space for all ages and reflections that are welcomed. No matter if you're at work, watching the kiddos at home, or even driving on the road, Rising with Raw is a beautiful sacred space to learn about the chakras as well as receive our collective card reading for the day. Along with this, we will have beautiful guests and members of the tribe come on to share their gifts, their practices, knowledge, and wisdom as we self-empower and become aware of who we are as we go forth by day.
Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian.
A rebel who went searching for treasures in his soul, fishing for gold. I found a key to unlock the door to my mind's gate, hidden with some hieroglyphs. Told me about my future and my past, and that I should get till I work it and get up off my ass. I'm on the path to move the masses to spiritual tactics. So masters, you bastards, spread it through classes. Live your life.
Hey, grand day, it's Christolight. So during this episode of Rising with Raw, we get a little deep. We get a little deep into my story of my life path as we tie it in with the power of vulnerability. Along with this, we do our collective card reading. And we then go over the Sacral Chakra. And I guide us through a self-Reiki healing chakra activation with affirmations. Enjoy this episode. I appreciate all feedback. And just direct message me if you would like to come on. Enjoy the episode. Feel free to leave your feedback or anything that you'd like to reflect upon or that you got downloaded during this video. If you are someone that would like to be a guest on Rising with Raw, you may direct message me, Marcus Christolight, to set up an episode. I'll share. Grand day, Grand Raw Rising. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Rising with Raw here on Instagram Live, Sacred Light 33. Or if you're tapping in on the replay or on the full edition on the YouTube channel, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, welcome. Grand day. And thank you for being a part of this space. I am your sacred host, the Pharaoh of this space, Marcus, and I also go by Christolight. And just a little bit about myself, since we kind of are breaking into this new season, this new form of this sacred space, Rising with Ra. A little bit about myself, Marcus Christolight, is I have had quite the journey with addiction, had quite the journey with the street life, as well as selling drugs. And it seems like a long time ago when I was involved in that lifetime, or lifestyle, I should say. But back when I was younger, my late teen years, early adulthood, I was involved with selling drugs. I was going to festivals, abusing plant medicines, getting high all the time, escaping, and a lot more. And I had a lot of experiences that were near death-like when it came to the substances and how much I was using. And along with that, I was also really out of alignment with my own morals and values and the way I was treating people. When you're in that type of lifestyle, you're susceptible to, robbing people or being robbed, or just wanting to make money and not care about the fact that people are addicted to drugs and substances. But anyway, continuing on, around 2015, I was set up with an undercover detective, and I ended up selling LSD and Molly to an undercover detective. And then in 2017, I ended up going to prison for about a full year. And I had a very enlightening experience while I was in prison. So during this time period that I was selling, I was also simultaneously becoming more aware of my spirituality and holistic energy healing. I was introduced to Reiki, yoga, meditation, the chakras, and much more. So by the time I had went into prison, I'd already had all this awakened knowledge within me, and I have been practicing and experiencing these practices for myself, on myself, and from others. And while I was in there, I ended up teaching about 7 to 8 inmates meditation as well as the 7 chakra system and how to balance their chakras through meditation and conscious breathing. Along with this, I spent a lot of time on my own, really channeling, going within, and feeling what was really resonant for me and my path for my highest good. So it created a spark. I was inspired to create something for the collective, create something for the community, for all of us here on this planet when I got out. So I got out in November of 17, and when I got out, I was inspired to create my first, brand or, identity of the way I served and put forth my passions and my gifts. And that is what ended up being Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. So I created Sacred Light Healing and Wellness in the beginning of 2018. And then I went and got Reiki certified in February of 2018. After I got Reiki certified in the traditional Japanese form, Usui Raiho, I then naturally came across being attuned to the ancient Egyptian or the Kemetic Reiki form, which is Sekhem, named after the great feline lion goddess Sekhmet, the great protector, the great healer and nurturer. And then later on, this past year, in November or December, I attuned myself to the Ascended Masters techniques of Reiki. So I'm certified in all those different Reikis, or I'm attuned, I should say. And I'm also certified in crystal healing, CHH. I got my crystal healing certification. So I'm able to teach you and bridge you as a medium with the crystals and the human. I'm able to bridge with you how to utilize different crystals for different aspects of your healing and maintaining your well-being, as well as placing it around your homes, your environments, and how to use your own energy meridian grid points with the crystals. Along with this, I've also activated my light language. So light language activations is something that I offer and have been serving for around a year now. And then I do guided meditations. I have done guided meditations for around 7 to 8 years now. I've done them live here on Instagram. I've done them on YouTube. I've done them live during Zoom calls. I've done them in person at events and festivals. And I've also done guided meditations that I fully edit and professionally produce with a high quality microphone and a nice software. And that is something else that is available through my services, is you can order a fully customizable and personalized guided meditation audio.
Sacred Light presents a new quantum level holistic service available by Marcus Christolight. Are you ready to embark upon a journey with your own fully authentic, personal and customizable guided meditation audio? It is now available for you to set up your own personal meditation audio for me to professionally produce and edit. You choose the frequency that guides the color of light, and anything else that comes to mind. Direct message today or email me at marcustut23@gmail.com. Wholeness, balanced love. Where you get to choose the frequency in the background. So it could be like 432 hertz, 528, it could be a violet flame or angelic tone, or it could be in Tibetan singing bowl. And then you get to choose the focus and intention of the guided meditation. So this could be, clearing out your solar plexus, activating self-esteem, self-worth. It could be expanding your third eye, expanding your manifestation energy. It could be for going to sleep. Or it could be a chakra balance. Or it could be a cord clearing meditation. These are all different options, and there's much more to what is unique to you and what you can explore when it comes to these meditations. And along with that, I also allow you to choose the type of guides or beings that you get to connect with in the meditation. So if you're someone that likes to connect with the archangels, or Yeshua, or the ancient Egyptian pantheon, or the ancient Greek pantheon, I can call in those beings and those energy aspects. So along with all this, I also do oracle card readings, and I also do soul lineage or soul origin galactic therapy meditations. And these are guided meditations where I tap into the Akashic, and then I guide and facilitate for you a way to connect with your higher self and to become aware and unveil who your higher self is, where your soul origin is, who you are beyond this human being on the soul level. So, this could be Pleiadian, Lyran, Sirian, Octurian, Orion, and much more. And to top it all off, I do have a life coaching, or what I call intuitive life guidance service, where I be a life guide for you, and these are week periods that you pay for. And with that, we hold a 2-hour session going over shadow work integration, as well as our daily habits, patterns, and routines, and how to prioritize our well-being throughout our daily schedule, as well as how to look at what we're consuming throughout the day consciously. And when we go over the shadow integration, we're going over negative thought patterns, we're going over negative habits that we are wanting to release. We are going over how to more consciously and more lovingly approach our communication, as well as finding ways to navigate and zoom out into the bigger picture as the observer. So these are all available services that I just went over, and also a little bit about who I am and why I put the love, the dedication, and intentions that I put into all that I do, including this sacred community space, Rising with Ra. Now, if you're someone that would like to be a royal guest here on Rising with Ra, this is a sacred community space. So this is an open community space here on Rising with Ra. The only thing that we ask for here is just alignment with sacred honor codes and values. And that is just having sobriety, no drugs, no alcohol, no plant medicines on these lives, as well as no misuse of sexual energy or nudity of the being. Other than that, as long as our intentions are similar and we have a pure mindset about being in this live space, it is open to community. So just reach out to me if you would like to be a royal guest featured on one of the episodes. And typically these episodes are on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. But, we'll have days where we fluctuate. Sometimes it won't be on a Monday, sometimes it won't be on a Wednesday, sometimes it won't be on a Friday. But I'll be keeping you guys in the loop. I'll be continuing to put promos out, advertisements, and I'll keep you guys well aware of when the next dates are for Rising with Ra. So once again, if you want to be a sacred guest, a royal guest here on Rising with Ra, to share your practice, share your passion, to share your knowledge and wisdom, or to have a divine, sacred community conversation about life, feel free to reach out and we'll see if we align and we can have you on. So before we begin, I know we talked a little bit about my story, my path, and the things I've experienced and gone through to get here to this moment now. And with that being said, I would like to share a little bit of my heart, share a little bit of what flowed through me during those times when I was in prison. And I wanted to pull out something very, very special to me. And that is a little bit of my poetry, a little bit of my rhymes, a little bit of my expression that I put onto paper while I was sitting behind those steel bars and that barbed wire fence. So before we begin and dive into our collective card reading for the day, as well as go over the chakra of the day, which is going to be the Sacral Chakra, I want to share a little bit of my poetry from prison with all of you. And I'm definitely open to feedback in the comments, and I'd love to see how it feels and what you experience when receiving this poetry. So, everybody out there, I'm based in Ohio, and I went to prison in Ohio as well. I went to prison at Pickaway Correctional Institution, and it's close by Columbus, Ohio. So what I'm going to read here is a little bit of my expressions, a little bit of my rhymes and writing that I had wrote while I was in prison in 2017. Okay. So this first poem is called Silence Can Be. This is about silence and the way that silence can affect us depending upon where we are with ourselves. So it starts by, silence can be. Silence can be peace. Silence can be torture. Silence can be healing. Silence can be damaging. I'm sure there is more to what silence can be to us as human beings on Earth. These are what came to the mind for me from the get-go. Now I'll explain with reason why silence can be each of these four to us. Silence can be peace. Peace because some of us have inner peace within us that does not want to be bothered, or it can bring a time of total focus without disruption to us. Silence can be torture. Torture because some of us have inner conflicts that we don't know how to win the battle of. Thus, it drives us crazy. Also, for those who feel like they need attention or can't be still and quiet, this can apply. Silence can be healing. Healing because it could be therapeutic for those who never get to experience it with busy lives. Almost a sigh of relief. For those who have the knowledge of how to draw in healing energies during the silence, it can be like bliss. Silence can be damaging. Damaging because sometimes there is nothing more painful than your loved one being silent towards you when something is wrong, or it can create mixed signals. Sometimes that silence can reflect what actions or words you committed towards another and show the damage to both. Silence can be peace, silence can be torture, silence can be healing, silence can be damaging. Ashe. Feel free to put in your comments how you felt about that poem. And if you have any feedback around silence and what silence means to you, or anything that's resonant or stuck out about your thought process around silence, feel free to comment. Here's another one of my favorites. And also thank you all that are here sharing your support and your love. Alright, so this next one we have, it is called Look in My Eyes. So this is about the eyes, the eyes and the wonder of the eyes and all that it carries, which is beyond a lot of our thought process. So it's called Look in My Eyes. What do you see when you look in my eyes? Do you see the experiences that have left me traumatized? What do you feel when you look in my eyes? Do you feel the raw emotions that are bottled up inside? What do you think when you look in my eyes? Do you think I am handsome or just another guy? My eyes, they are unique, carry the story of my soul. You look into them, and a connection is made. A connection beyond the physical plane. Spiritual is a way to describe it. Like an instant transmission of information from my being through my eyes to your eyes into your mind, sending codes into your being, triggering messages within. Look in my eyes. Ashe. So yeah, that one's powerful. It's just basically articulating how the eyes are the seat of the soul, and that when you look into my eyes, look into anybody else's eyes, what are you truly seeing? You know, are we really seeing what's going on, what's buried deep inside? Are we seeing, the truth of where that person is emotionally and what they're holding on to from experiences? It's a very raw and very deep intended poem. So I think I have one more for all of you before I hop into our card reading and chakra education for the day. Okay, here we go. So this next one is called It's Days Like These. It's days like these. So I wrote this when I was having a really deeply reflective experience, a reflective moment while I was in prison. And I was just thinking about how we see the true colors of where someone is vibrationally and consciously without even having to do anything. It just naturally happens. So this last one I'm going to share, it goes like this. It's days like these where we are reminded of karma and being aware of our actions, also seeing the true colors of those around us. It is healthy to keep in the back of our mind that we manifest our life before you by the energy we put out. This can be words, emotions, thoughts, and other ways of expressing our sacred energy. It is scientifically proven and spoken about in many ancient to modern scriptures and texts that the energy put out is also attracted and received back. Whether it is received back instantly or over time may differentiate by different factors. Those factors beyond the mortal mind, perhaps. Sometimes we get caught up in the worldly activities and lose track of our expressions that we spew out. Gradually, the karmic energy will build up, whether we are conscious of it or not. Before we know it, it catches up to us, like a smack of reality. We then realize how or why something just happened to us, wishing we had not done what we did to receive it. Though this happened, it is not healthy to regret. What is healthy is to learn, grow, and become a new, better version of yourself. The more positive energy we put out, the higher we raise our vibrational level, and positivity is attracted externally, opening you up to the beauties of life, placed in a heavenly-like mindset, living to see the good parts in life, health inclining, fun, appreciative events, and becoming even closer to our godly soul self, led by the heart. Now, if we decide to dwell in negative energy consciously, our vibrational level will drop, and negativity is attracted externally. A hell-like mind state is caused from this, staying stuck on the bad parts in life, health declining, tragic events, becoming detached from our godly soul self, leaving us as an ego-driven physical self, can be tremendous in the effects. Remember to be aware of your actions and expressions of energy, as it does manifest your lively karma and creates your reality. May love, light, and positivity be with you along your journey. Ashe. It's days like these. So those are 3 of my poems from my time in prison. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that received and held space for me energetically. Thank you all for receiving, truly. It was a very profound time in my life, and it will always be a cornerstone to who I am now and why I'm doing what I'm doing today. All right, so now let's go ahead and transition over to our collective card reading for Rising with Ra today on this beautiful Friday, the 29th of September in the Gregorian time matrix. So today I'll be using the deck Beyond Lemuria, Lemurian New Earth Codes. Oh, as soon as I pull that up, my right ear started ringing. Burn a little bit of Palo Santo. I briefly touched on Palo Santo in Wednesday's episode, but Palo Santo is wonderful for space clearing, opening up new energetic space, releasing stagnant or quote-unquote negative energy, and is also a protective energy as well. And hey, grand day, it is Marcus, Christolight. I just wanted to announce to you with pleasure that I am going to be hosting and facilitating my first 2 flow shops in collaboration with the Reiki Center, Columbus, Ohio. Coming up on the 10th of October, I will be hosting a Sacred Light guided meditation space for a channeled meditation, along with going over 3 key ingredients I find important for meditation, getting to the basics and fundamentals of posture, the breath, as well as focusing the mind during meditation. This will be $33. And then next I'll also be hosting and facilitating a 12 chakra class, and that will be October 29th. And that will be from 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern at the Reiki Center. I will be going over each of the 12 chakras individually, going in depth about each of them. And then afterwards, I will be doing a guided meditation for all 12 chakras to help balance and activate the 12. This one will be $100, and you can find these both on the Reiki Center website. All you do is just go to the reikicenter.com, go to classes, and then type in the dates and click on them, and then you can buy your ticket ahead of time. Thank you all. Wholeness, balance, love. The reason why it's a tradition, or it has become like a normal to smudge our spaces before and after card readings, is because it allows the energy field to be reset, return to 0 point or to center, so then clarity and pure energy may flow through. Everything is energy. Everything's an energetic field and vibration of light. All right, so our collective card reading, I do a overall general message for the supportive and divine energy that would like to be reflected to us for the day. Well then. Ooh, powerful medicine tool. Our collective card for today on this Friday is vulnerability. Ooh-wee. Vulnerability. Okay. So some of us may be feeling a little hesitant, or we may be feeling a little iffy or second guessing ourselves on if what we are feeling inside of us or what is intuitively pulling us needs to be expressed or needs to be spoken on or articulated. And one thing I could share from my experiences that I've found helpful when it comes to accessing vulnerability and just clearing my channel to get to a place of being vulnerable is sometimes our triggers, sometimes certain things can take place within our being, and it can cause kind of a distortion or a delusion of what's really being experienced or what is the pure experience or pure connection from what has took place. And what I find is I typically don't act or react upon my initial thoughts or my initial emotions. What I'll do is I'll consciously sit with it for a moment and I'll allow it to process through me, knowing that it's not in control of me, that it's not a power that's outside of me or anything better than me, and that it's really like it's an aspect, it's a messenger, it's a reflector, it's a mirror of my own self, for my own being, my emotions and my mind. So what I'll do is I'll sit with it for a moment, allow it to process a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll then, with my mind, go through possibilities and probabilities. And I'll go through possibilities of, what feels like the highest picture or the most whole picture here with this experience. And if I feel that I'm kind of getting caught up in a lower frequency, so to say, in my perception of this experience, or that my lower emotions could use navigating and upliftment, then I'll take the space to consciously acknowledge it, and then I'll go into a practice or I'll use a conscious tool to clear out my being, to clear out my energetic system. So then, instead of acting or reacting from this triggered space or this space of distortion, which can also be influenced by past traumas, past experiences, as well as a lot of other components. And when I do my practice, whether it's like a 10-minute energy clearing meditation, or I'm using sage and selenite to smudge my space, or some conscious breathing, whatever it may be, I find that I'm way more centered, way more clear, and way more in alignment with my higher divine light when it comes to expressing and communicating what is needed to be communicated. And oftentimes I'll also find that when I clear out before acting or reacting, I'll find that quite a bit of the substance that I was experiencing going into the clearing and the practice dissolved away by the time the practice was over. And it really wasn't anything to hold on to or anything to even project. And then what's left is crystal clear and pure to be expressed. And we're more at ease, we're more at inner peace, we're more balanced going into the approach of our communication. So I wanted to share that because with our card of the day being vulnerability, this is a very conscious and useful practice and tool that I've been utilizing to access a more clear and pure channel for my vulnerability. It can get tricky when we get triggered by our past wounds, by traumas, by misunderstandings and distortions. So I found it helpful in my journey to do that, to consciously acknowledge that yes, I'm feeling triggered, I'm feeling emotions, I'm feeling thought patterns, but then just allow myself to sit with it for a moment, allow it to go through, do not create resistance, and then go into a practice, go into using your conscious tools and clear it out energetically, whether it's archangel meditation, violet flame, conscious breathing, mindfulness, whatever it may be, and then act or react, going into the communication or expression of vulnerability. So with vulnerability also comes really deeper clarity as well as wisdom. Along with vulnerability comes transmutation of the darkness that we are in or holding on to, and uplifting it into light, into purity. The more that we resist vulnerability, especially when it's naturally and intuitively coming up to be expressed, the more we can clog up our energy field, and the more that we can stuff and store into our layers the energy as well as the memory and experiences that we are being called to be vulnerable with. The more we stuff and hold on to these energies, the more dense our energy field becomes, the more dense our being becomes, and this leaves us vulnerable to imbalances, dis-ease throughout the being, and out of balance chakras. Now, if you're having a hard time being vulnerable with somebody specific, it doesn't have to be a physical vulnerability. It can be, etheric. It can be metaphysical. You can write down, you can journal, you can type, you can speak out loud by yourself, you can speak into a mirror. Many different ways that you can put forth the energy and the intention of being vulnerable. It doesn't have to be physical. Along with vulnerability, there's really no right or wrong to it. This is a real life, in the moment simulation of life that we're in. And in this moment, each moment, we are in this living, lively consciousness of life. And life is quite complex and also quite simple at the same time. But when it comes to the complexities of life, it's definitely not always going to be easy or simple to be vulnerable. I found it very helpful as well when it comes to vulnerability with sticking with I am statements, or sticking with me, expressing from my perception, what I'm experiencing, and my intention, instead of blaming, shaming, or pointing the fingers. For example, say somebody does something and, they're not aware of how it's affecting you. So instead of being like, hey, you're doing this, it's really causing me to be like this, and can you just stop? Like if it wasn't for you doing this, I wouldn't be feeling this way. So instead of approaching like that, we approach from a manner like, hey, can I speak with you for a moment? There's something I'd like to share. Lately I've noticed that, you've kind of been speaking to me in a certain way that has really just been a little hurtful, and I just really would like to clear out our connection, clear out our relationship, and be able to start building and developing our relationship together, to grow and just enjoy space. Would you be open to exploring different ways to grow with each other, or to be able to develop our relationship? That's an example of how I would consciously approach from a vulnerable state. These are things I go over in my intuitive life guidance sessions. So if you're someone that could benefit or use guidance on this type of aspect of life, that is something you can reach out to me for, and we can book a life guidance session. So along with vulnerability, it doesn't only just help ourselves, it helps the collective as well. When we're vulnerable, we're sharing codes of experience and wisdom for other souls and other beings to be able to receive and download into their system, which can then trigger and awaken parts of their consciousness and their enlightenment. Vulnerability is also something that some of us struggle with when it comes to being vulnerable about our gifts, our passions, the things that we are wonderfully skilled at. And, it's a beautiful thing to practice as well, is practicing vulnerability of your gifts, of your passions, of your services. A lot of us have these wonderful skills and abilities that could really shape and shift not just our own life, but the lives around us, whether it's in a community or the collective, our family members. A lot of us have beautiful gifts, such as guidance, knowledge, healing energy, poetry, music, arts, whatever it may be. Finding ways to access our vulnerability with these gifts and passions is also a big message coming through right now. As the more we become vulnerable, the more we express and put forth our truth, our authenticity, our light and energy, the more it's going to collectively shift the collective consciousness on this planet, in this grid, and in this whole cosmos. If you're someone that doesn't know where to practice or doesn't have sacred spaces to practice, you are welcome to join in and be a part of the Sacred Kingdom community that I host online. And it's held mainly on the Discord space. But in this community space, we highlight each other's gifts. It is also a safe, sacred space to be able to practice your gifts, or to also collaborate with other community members and put together online workshops, or flow shops as I call them, as well as go live with community members and plan and schedule to highlight each other's gifts, to have conscious conversation online, and help uplift each other as a community. That is a Discord community space, Sacred Kingdom. In my highlights on my Instagram here, SacredLight33, you just go to the highlights, click on SK Kingdom Community, and you can actually be directly linked to the information, the layout, and the YouTube video regarding the Kingdom community. So last thing also, vulnerability is expression of your sacral. The sacral is where we culminate and cultivate our inner life force, our chi, our feminine energy. And then vulnerability is the act of putting forth and expressing that inner feminine, that chi, that truth, which is a masculine energy. And the throat chakra is one of the most powerful and resonant centers for vulnerability. So when you think about this, the more you clear out these energy centers, the more easier, the more natural you'll be aligned with expressing your truth and vulnerability. So not only can you do physical practices and work on the outside in, but you can also work on the inside out from the root or the core and clear out your energy centers while also doing physical practices to activate and align your vulnerability skills. So that's our collective card reading for Friday. And going into this weekend is vulnerability. All right, so with our collective card reading for today now being in its glory and its shine, let's go ahead and take a break for about 3 minutes or so. Go ahead and re-up on your aqua, hydrate, grab some sage, Palo Santo, some crystals if you would like. And when we get back from this couple minute break, we'll go ahead and transition over to our education of the sacral chakra, as well as facilitate and I'll guide a self Reiki healing for the sacral chakra. And crystals for the sacral before we go into this break, so you can grab your crystals if you would like, is tiger's eye, citrine, orange calcite, onyx, black tourmaline, smoky quartz, bumblebee jasper, as well as that's a pretty good list. Oh, garnet. Garnet's another good one, as well as ruby. And pyrite. Fool's gold. So yeah, go ahead and grab any of these crystals if you'd like, or whatever resonates for you. Grab your aqua, hydrate if you want to, use the restroom, and we will come back and do our sacral activation and education. Repeat after me. I affirm that this space is sacred, sealed, and filled with pure rainbow love, regenerating, rejuvenating, soothing my being. Ashe. I affirm that this space is sacred, sealed, and filled with pure rainbow love, regenerating, rejuvenating, soothing my being. Ashe. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Rising with Ra, as we are now transitioning into our education on the Sacral Chakra, as is the chakra of the day for this sacred space. And along with this, I will also be facilitating and guiding a self-healing Reiki for the Sacral Chakra. So, a little bit about the sacral. The sacral is located below the navel or the belly button, around the bladder area, and it is a resonant color of orange. The sacral also when it comes to the characteristics and the aspects that it represents and carries as an energy center, it is tied to your sensuality. And sensuality is your senses. It's your ability to feel. It's your ability to really feel the divineness in an experience, to really feel, that euphoric upliftment, the wholeness, the blissful beauty, and being able to really feel and sense with your senses the fullness, the enrichment of the moment and what you're experiencing. That is sensuality. The more that's active, the more you're feeling that blissfulness, you're feeling the divineness within this moment. The more that's blocked off, the more you're not really feeling the love, not feeling the beauty around you. Sacral is also tied in with your sexual life force energy. So it is the center that is the most prominent and carries your sexual energy. And your sexual energy is also your creative energy. It is your prana, it is your kundalini energy. Now, when it comes to this regarding its sexual energy center, this also means it carries the memories and the energies tied to your sexual experiences in your life. Now, for some of us, this could be dealing with sexual misuse of energy. It could be things such as rape, molestation. It could also be addiction to sexual energy, such as porn, or overtly perverting life, overtly perverting females or males. These are all symptoms of having a blocked or overactive sacral chakra. Now, it's also going to be our energy center to the connection of the relationships in our life. So it's the main center where we create a cord, when we create an energetic relationship with somebody. This doesn't have to be romantic. This could be any type of relationship that we have with somebody, whether it's a friend, coworker, someone that we're just passing by for one day, romantic partner, parents. These are all cords of relationships that we have. So if you're really struggling with your relationships, you want to be able to clear out past energies and experiences in our cords and our relationships. The sacral is the direct energy center to go to clear out and uplift the energy of our relationships. And now lastly, this is also the energy center for the inner child. The inner child is stored at the sacral. So any inner child and childhood conflicts, experiences and traumas are going to be stored in the sacral, as well as any beautiful and positive memories from our childhood. So the sacral is quite important, as you can see, just as any of the other chakras are. But now we have a deeper understanding on why the sacral in itself is important, and what it ties to, and what the energy portal is here for. Now, I went over some crystals that you can use. Well, there's also different practices, different strategies that you can utilize to help balance and maintain the sacral. Some of these may be guided meditations, which you can just go on YouTube, type in sacral chakra meditation. You can utilize Hertz frequencies. And if I believe correctly, let me take a look just so I know I'm correct. The sacral chakra frequency that resonates specifically for it is 288 hertz. So you can type in 288 hertz frequency on YouTube or anywhere that has frequency music. And you can just play the frequency. Some are singing bowls, some it's pure tones, but you can utilize these frequencies throughout the day. You can play them in the background while you're doing everyday things, which is something that I do. Or you can even set the space, the intentional energy of where you're playing it. So say, for example, I'm just hanging out in the living room, I'm going outside, but I want to intentionally uplift and clear sacral chakra energy into my room. Excuse me, into my room. So like what I'll do is, I'll get ready to go on my day, go outside, whatever it may be, and then I'll use whatever device, hook up to my speaker, and I'll play 288 hertz sacral chakra meditation music. And then I'll just go on with my day, allow the frequency to play in my room, and then consciously acknowledging and knowing that that energy field is being manipulated or it's being collaborated with sacral chakra music. So we don't always have to be physically present. We don't have to always be consciously focusing on, these frequencies, these meditation musics that we're playing. As long as we consciously know that it's playing and that its frequency is being emanated, then it's available to our energy field. Along with this, you can also do inner child healing practices or inner child healing workshops, which is actually something I offer as well, is generational inner child healing. I offer one-on-one, and then every once in a while I do group flow shops on Zoom. There are many yoga poses that you can look up for the sacral. Just type in sacral chakra yoga poses. Something that I really love to do is mix it up with the creative arts and the way that I flow. So you can listen to music and dance. You can paint, you can write poetry, create music. Whatever it is that's your passion of expression is a great way to help open up and clear the sacral. And I think there's one more I wanted to leave as well. I'm going to go ahead and look at my documents here. Well, I guess that'll do. But yeah, those are some ways to balance and clear and activate the sacral. If you have any questions about the sacral chakra, feel free to drop them in the comments here on the live or on the replay. Or you can just reach out to me, and if you want to, we can dive deep, as well as go into the layers and help clear out the sacral or any other chakra through my chakra empowerment one-on-one services that I offer. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate and guide us through a self-healing Reiki activation for the sacral chakra. This will be a hands-on experience, so if you would like to participate, it is definitely supported to do so. And as we begin, just go ahead and get yourself in a sacred space. get comfortable, and you consider lay down for this practice. Grab your crystal if you would like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate and guide you through how to utilize your own hands for the Reiki energy to the sacral, right below the belly button. And I'm going to guide us through some affirmations, as well as consciously connecting with our Reiki energy within our own self to help activate and cleanse the sacral. So go ahead and get comfortable. And if you're sitting, having your back as straight as you can to support your spine. You may use a pillow, the edge of your bed, the couch, whatever it may be for support. And then next, we want to make sure that we are releasing any tension in the shoulders, in the arms, checking to see if we are clenching our teeth or clenching our fingers. We want to release and let go. For laying down, having our legs straight and not crossed, so we're not blocking the flow of energy in and out the soles of our feet. The more relaxed our body, the more softer, the more we are able to support a smoother release of block or stagnant energy, as well as draw in more space for more energy and light. Alright, so now that we're comfortable and in a good posture, we're going to focus on the breath. And as we focus on the breath, we're going to breathe in through the nose, draw it down the body to the sacral below the belly button. Consciously feel that breath connect to the sacral. Then we're consciously going to draw the breath back up and exhale it out of the mouth. Consciously breathing in through the nose, drawing it down to the sacral. Consciously bring it up, exhaling out of the mouth. Continue to focus on this breath pattern throughout the Reiki, as the breath will support and amplifying our releases, as well as amplifying the amount of light and healing that we receive. Alright, so now we're going to take our hands, cup them together, as this will create a focal point of the energy instead of scattering it. Take one hand, place it right below the belly button. Take the other hand, place it right below the belly button in the other direction, so that it is facing like this, right below the belly button. Alright. Remembering to relax the shoulders, relax the body. You may close your eyes, focus inward as you breathe, and just tune in and connect the breath down to the sacral and out of the mouth, consciously being one with this process, feeling it. Your breath is at your own pace. There's no right or wrong. It's whatever naturally feels right to you. Consciously breathing into the sacral. As we breathe, you may begin to feel electrical feeling. You may feel sensations coming from the palms of the hand. This is your Reiki energy coming online, streaming through, and interacting with your sacral. Staying with the breath. Alright, and this affirmation you may repeat out loud or inside of your own mind if you wish. But the affirmation goes, I affirm that I am a sacred, divine being of light. I acknowledge my boundaries of consent that align and support the sacredness of my being. I am allowing myself to receive nurturing, that I am to harness my life force energy with pure intentions, I am allowing myself to let go of past wounds, past experiences that are keeping my inner child from being joyful, innocent, and explorative. Sticking with the breath, continuing to breathe to the sacral. You may begin to feel energy rise or energy pull. Allow this to flow. As this is a conscious opportunity to release energy stored in the being. Staying with the breath. You may feel your hands pull away from the body intuitively, pulling the energy out the center. That's what's happening, is if your hands pull away without you doing so physically, it's intuitively pulling the energy out of the center. Then you can blow your hands out to source, to the universe, so that it all becomes dust back to source. You can keep doing this as much as you need, whenever you want to, at home, no matter where you are. Just tapping in with your own natural Reiki energy through your hands in the conscious mind. You can use a crystal as well, like selenite, and it'll help pull out any energy stored in that center. And you can also utilize your smudging tools. It's a very intuitive thing. It's a very metaphysical practice. And we're all metaphysical, we're all energetic. It's just a mental state of mind of choosing to tap into the energetic field instead of the physical field. You know, we have a physical body, energetic body, mental body, emotional body, so on and so forth. And we can mentally in our consciousness tap into each layer or each body of our being, and then become more present in the awareness of that field and work in that field. So Reiki and a lot of these energy practices, we're getting more in tune with our energetic field rather than our physical field. All right. So now I'd like to close this out with a little bit of sacral light language. So this light language, you're probably not going to be able to understand in English, of course, but it's about vibration and frequency. So all it's about is allowing your subconscious and your unconscious mind to receive the frequencies and the codes that are being transmitted. So while you're still open, feel free to receive if you would like. You do not have to consent to this light language to help uplift and balance the sacral. You may keep your hands on the sacral if you would like to create focal of energy there, and continue to breathe if you wish. Ukianu ayana kuaya maruaya kurayana kuayara uayaria kuruaviaria kuayara kuaria kuayara kuaya kuayara riyamaya kuaya 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 tikiara kuaya 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 tikiarua. Take a big deep breath in. On the exhale, wrap your arms around your body and give yourself a big old hug. Just breathe. Breathe with yourself. Hug yourself. Give yourself this moment of love, unconditional. Give yourself this appreciation and honor of your being, of where you are today, what you have been through, what you've accomplished, what you are accomplishing now, what you are breaking free from. Just nurture yourself today. Find ways to love yourself throughout this day. Don't go waiting for everybody to love you. Don't go feeling obligated to making everybody love you. Love yourself more and more. Continue to find ways to love yourself throughout the day so that you don't need to seek it. You don't need to feel filled or fulfilled by the external or by others. When you don't feel love, love yourself more. Do the things that you love, that you enjoy. Continue to fill your cup, but I'm sure you'll attract more and more external love in the way that you would like to see. Thank you everybody for tapping in and rising together on this Friday edition of our first week of Season 4 of Rising with Ra, as we covered the Sacral Chakra, as well as a self-Reiki healing practice to activate our sacral. And if you're going to tap in on the replay here on Sacred Light 33 on Instagram, or on the full episode, on YouTube, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. You can also catch me sharing a little bit of my prison poetry that I expressed and articulated from my time in prison in 2017. If you are someone that would like to be a royal guest here on Rising with Ra, you like to share a practice, your art, your wisdom, knowledge, or anything for the conscious collective, reach out to me and we'll go through the motions to see if you align with this sacred space to be a royal guest on any episode. Next Monday, I will be back for Rising with Ra at 11:11 a.m. Eastern, as we will rise up the column to the solar plexus chakra, as well as cover our collective reading for Monday. And who knows, maybe we'll have a royal guest, or maybe we might tap into a nice fun activity. But either way, I'll see you guys on Monday at 11:11 a.m. Eastern for Rising with Ra. And you guys can watch this episode of Rising with Ra, going over the Sacral Chakra, in full on my YouTube channel, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, later on today. Wholeness and balanced love.